Trainer Joe, can we just make a video helping the average fat guy? There's a lot of them out there. They're good boys.
Average Joe. Good old boy.
They like to lose the weight. Can you help them?
To be this big?
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do? Yeah. They don't want any psychobabble. They don't want any pills or potions.
No fluff.
Obviously, I've done a little too much celebrating or something. And I remember I had a couple like that. They're like, we don't want any psychobabble. Please don't do therapy. We know we like to enjoy eating too much and drinking. Can you just help us? And so, help for the average fat guy?
I'm looking forward to seeing what we got here, Trainer Joe.
All right. You got to be willing to do the work. And I think a lot of guys, they've been working, they've been doing things that are difficult, they've been providing maybe for their family. And they're like, man, I come home and do I have to stay so in tune with this? Isn't that part of it?
Mm-hmm. They'd rather not. They'd rather just come a little more natural in their day-to-day life. Do we have to be so intentional?
The way it was when they were younger, it was never a problem.
Back when I played football.
I saw some the other day. I went to a UK game with a buddy of mine, and we saw some old athletes because he was on the football team. I was on the track team, and we're seeing these guys. And it's interesting because some look good, and you can tell it's been a priority for them to maintain a level of health and fitness. Because when you were on the football team and you were expected to be big and push your weight around, a lot of guys kept eating like that, and it's terrible. And they've had knee replacements. So you're going to have to decide if you're willing to continue with the work. I think that's the main one is, are you going to give yourself permission to say no to things you'd like to eat? What do you do? What are you going to look like when you're 60?
Oh, I mean, I guess I'd kind of like to think of myself as not the average guy that's going to, be overweight. But I think like you said, whether I was pursuing competitive sports or not, I just don't, it's not in my, we went to a family gathering recently and I was talking to my wife, wow, I haven't seen this person in 7 years and they've put on weight. It's so nice talking to them, but they look different. This guy's put on weight. It's so interesting that it's like, well, 7 years go by and everyone's put on weight. And I said, it's hard for me to understand. And again, I think maybe I'm a little bit of the anomaly. It's hard for me to understand why that's the case. Mm-hmm. Because I don't really want to put on weight. So if I notice that it's happening, I'm going to take the steps quickly.
It's more weird to be at a healthy weight than it is to be a little heavy in our culture.
Yeah.
You stand out a little bit more, like, why is that guy, why doesn't he have a belly? Why doesn't she have a belly? And I would even go as far to say some are going to say, why are they so into it? Isn't that true? Why are they so into it? Why are they so into their body that they don't at least have a little belly? And there may be some truth to that you're too into your body. Okay, we can be too into our body. But we're not talking to that person.
The average fat guy
is not too into their body, which is part of the problem.
Oh.
That is just, I'm married now. Mm-hmm. She's got her, she won the prize. She got me. Why do I need to continue worrying about this? Suddenly, they've gone from having a little vanity to get the catch to the opposite. It doesn't matter anymore. And now they're on this other side that doesn't matter. Why should I care about that?
And your wife will likely say, oh, baby, I love you no matter what.
I love you as much as you as there is.
But if they're being totally honest, do they have preferences, physical preferences as well? Do you have physical preferences?
And is that preference, I actually love this man and wish he was around a little longer? Or maybe it's not that. Maybe it's like, I wish that...
You've been reading too many romance novels.
I wish that he wasn't twice the size as when we got married, but I don't know. How do you say that? Does it matter?
It's hard. Let Trainer Joe and Trainer Paul say it instead of your wife having to say it to you.
Is it too much to ask for a 40, 50, or 60-year-old guy that has allowed himself to gain 20, 30, 50 pounds to say, you know what, I probably should stay in a healthy weight range? Is that an unreasonable ask for the average guy? Right. Gets up and goes to work, provides for his family? Or should we say, if he's got 3 or 4 of these on his belly and he's 20, 30, 50 pounds overweight, why care? Why does that matter?
Yeah.
Why does it matter to us?
Well, again, when you start getting into the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds, which, let's just be real, that's very, very common. It's probably you.
It's very common. It's
The
probably you.
The health
That's
risks,
the thing.
the health risks do start going up.
And if that's all we focused on, shouldn't that be enough?
I think so.
If we said, who cares how you feel, period. Who cares how you feel? Who cares how you look, period. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Let's just look at what this is doing to your health, the way you age, and when you're going to die. Well, shouldn't that be enough to say, man, I got to get this? And there's way more than that. Way more than that. But
way more
you would think that would be enough to say, why don't we take care of this? Weight loss cures 70 to 80% of type 2 diabetes. Was that not enough to say, why am I doing this? Because we think, well, I might not get diabetes at all, so we get to that range where that's where you normally start getting it, and then we just play this game. Can I avoid what typically comes with eating whatever I want? And is it too hard on the guy that just says, when we're giving him simple steps, guys, it's got to be the joy you get out of eating too much, you got to transfer some of that joy to being the anomaly. As you say,
yeah,
are you an anomaly? Yeah. Even you are. 35 is an anomaly and to be fit and lean.
There's definitely joy to that. The couple average guys that I've seen go through your program that have lost significant weight, I'm thinking of, Tony. I'm thinking of
Kurt.
I could literally list off 4. Reed, and I'm like, they all have a renewed sense of passion and purpose when they drop 60 pounds.
Yeah, and there was a guy, I thought this was interesting, at Lexmark, Mike, who did the plan several times. He lost 50 pounds. He said, Joe, and he'd kept it off for years, he said, it would be more weird for me to gain my weight back than to keep it off. Mm-hmm. He was finally at that place where he's like, finally, this feels like the normal me. And I think for a lot of guys, they don't know where the normal me is or should be. They're like, is it normal for me to gain 40 pounds and just go around with this body for the rest of my life? And I see people, and I saw some people recently because we had a memorial service we went to, and people hadn't seen in a long time. And one was probably 80, and he could barely walk, and he had very little breath. And I'm like, oh, he can decide right now, I'm going to get healthy and probably extend his life by years and make the years he has so much better. But he's probably not going to choose that. And there were others there too, and I'm like, it doesn't take as much as a lot of people think, and that's why we're doing this. What does it really take? And I think for a lot of people, it's just you're just gonna have to go without that treat at night. How big a deal is that? How big a deal is it not to have the second helping and not to have another dessert? Because for most men, it's just you ate a little too much today. What's that look like for you to back off a little bit?
Yeah, and it sounds easy, but I get it. Like for the average guy, the thought of having to give up that second, portion or that dessert, they really do like that. And so it's like you gotta. I know the trade-off is going to be worth it, but at the same time, I'm not totally convinced.
That's it. You're not totally convinced that the trade-off is going to be worth it. So the effort you have to put forth is going to be too much. The juice is not going to be worth the squeeze until you decide, you know what? And I'll give you this. I don't think you need to make a lifelong decision.
Huh.
For some, it's just, I'm going to lose this much weight and see what happens. And if it's a program that resonates, it's kind of like some people really like keto or paleo. They didn't know it till they tried it for a while, and they're like, I really do like this. Same here. Some people will come into our plan and they're like, oh, they're mad because it was so easy. Mm. And they're like, I would have done this a long time ago. So sometimes you just need to find a plan. They're like, okay, I think I could do this. Kurt did that. After losing a bunch of weight, he said, I just need to learn how to turn this 21 days into 30 years. And that's all we're really doing. You're learning how to do something that, okay, this makes sense, this works. I'll lose weight when I do this. I'll keep the weight off if I keep doing this. I'll just extend this for my lifetime.
Yeah.
Which, is it too much to ask? Because I think for a lot of guys, it really is just giving themselves permission to give something up.
Well, and I am thinking of specific guys. I've seen this now over
Sure.
and over again, so I can see. I think of Kurt, Ryan,
Oh, that did it.
Yeah, that literally did exactly what we're saying here. Lost the 50 pounds, the 60 pounds, the 100 pounds. Kurt, Ryan, Reed, Tony, and after they've done it, because maybe when they're trying to decide, should I commit to this? And all of those guys, I believe, went through the program, and that was kind of an X factor. They didn't need to. They could have watched these videos and lost 50 pounds, but it helps. And it gives them just more of an objective.
It's a tool.
Yeah, it's not more of that subjective, okay, well, I'll maybe lose it some here and then take a break, and then I kind of fluctuated back up a little bit. It's like, no, I'm in the program, I'm in boot camp, and wow, this changed everything. The 21 days changed everything, and then I extended that to 50 days, 100 days. So that was a huge tool. But when I think of all those guys, the 4 guys I just mentioned, when they were not totally sure about it, they kind of still, I think, were teetering on, my life's not that bad. And then they went through it and they became truly different people. They truly became a different person.
Convinced.
They were so now if you talk to them, it's like night and day. Like, how could I not have done this? I love this new life.
Yeah. And you got to love something. And that's the thing. You're going to decide what you love and what's important to you. We put value on things. And a lot of guys, they're doing things that are important. And they're like, I'm putting a lot of value on these steaks and these potatoes and these desserts and these things. This is of great value to me. And then they start putting on this weight. And it's like, is it this valuable? And you got to come to terms. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because at some point, if you're not willing to say, I'm willing to make this sacrifice. And a lot of times it's because they have family. And it's like a smoker. And their kids are like, Daddy, why do you smoke? And they have that same thing with food. It's like, and I remember one guy I was working with, and he said, my son said, Daddy, are you going to be okay? And he just had some minor health issue that the doctor said, if he lost a little weight, it would help. And he's like, am I looking at my child in the face and saying, yeah, I'm going to be fine, when really I'm probably at a greater risk for all kinds of diseases because I'm obese. And it's like, how seriously am I going to take this? And it's a tough call because our culture says, don't worry about it at all. It's not your fault. Nothing you can do about it. It's inherent. It's your family. And it's all this hogwash that puts you in a position to say, I'm just a victim. I can't really do anything about this. And we would say, no, you really are allowing that to happen. And you don't have to. You get to decide whether you're obese or not. And it does take some work, and it is going to require some sacrifice, but don't fall in the trap that it's too much. Yeah. And that's what we do. It's going to require too much. When after you do it, you realize, well, no, it doesn't require too much. It just requires me to make a decision. And I want to make this one point because I think this gets a lot of people. With the idea of being hungry, we just are in a culture that says when you're hungry, it means it's time to eat. And what we would say to the average fat guy out there is when you're hungry, it's time to make a decision. It doesn't mean it's time to eat. Now you need to make a decision. What do I do with the fact that I'd like to eat right now? Eat another helping, eat a snack, eat dessert. You get to decide every time. And I think a lot of times we're like, it's just going to require so much discipline, so much dedication. I'm going to have to nearly starve to lose weight. That's the lie. It will take a sacrifice, but it's not that much. You don't have to eat a ton to be overweight. You eat a little more than you need over and over. And you don't need to reduce it a ton typically to lose it. You just need to back up, back off, and repeat that. And that suddenly you're a different person because you were willing to do that.
Yeah, back off and have clarity. Have clarity and have purpose, again, rather than it being just this murky thing that I'm maybe going to try a little bit here. No, like, buckle down.
Yeah, I would say clarity, maybe even conviction.
Conviction.
You've decided this is important. I believe I should do this. I may need to push through some challenges, and that's okay because you've given this a value now that's a little bit greater than even the pleasure you've been getting from eating the way you want to. You get to place the value on that.
I want to see you guys do it. I want to see the light come on in your eyes and that renewed sense. That renewed sense.
If I may, the eye of the tiger. Love to see it when a guy gets the eye of the tiger and says, okay,
Sing it for us.
I'm ready. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, easy that one. Maybe do air hits. There it is. There, that's better. That's more muted.
Let's go. Get that eye of the tiger, guys. I really do. I love when my fellow ex-athletes or men that have been struggling, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's walk this out together. We'd love to walk it out with you.
Yeah.
If you need some help with it, let's go. Don't use excuses that you can't do it for whatever reason. You can, and we'll help you if you want it.
21-day transformation link is in the description. Love to have you guys on that. Comment below. Are you the average fat guy that we were referencing? You know. I mean, it sounds more rude to say average fat girl, so I won't go there. But if
No, we're not talking.
We're not even there. There's other videos for the ladies that would like to lose weight, but we treat the guys a little more bluntly. Are you the average fat guy, and are you ready to buckle down and stink and lose that weight?
Remember how you were when you were on the field, when you were an athlete, and coach was like, "Come on, let's go." That's still in there, right? Let's go.
Right on.
Let's do it.
Till our next video, Trainer Joe. Train your brain.
And transform your body.